Hey guys, I got a new video for you today. You can see here I got a whole bunch of knives. Now every single one of these knives came off of Temu. So this is one gigantic Temu knife video. So one of the things I'll tell you first is some of these knives are still available on Temu. If I can find a link, I'll put a link down in the description. I'm going to be honest, it's kind of hard because usually when I go back and look to find the product, they're either discontinued or out of stock. The links are affiliate links. I do have an affiliate with Temu, so if you do click on my links, it does benefit the channel. I essentially will turn around, take any affiliate money and put it back into buying things for the channel. And I have a promo code. It'll be here on the screen somewhere. The promo code is INC18071, and it'll give you 30% off your entire order. So with that being said, we'll get into it. We're not going to go into a lot of details on each individual knife. I'm just going to show you the knife, show you what it looks like, and then we'll move on to the next one, because you can see there's a whole bunch of knives to go through here. There is some fixed blades, some automatics. There are some, this is, not really a knife, but I threw it in here anyways. But let's get into it. All right, so let's get into the first knife. So I'm going to just grab some knives and we'll go over them. Now again, we're not going to go into a lot of details. I just want to show them to you. We'll give it a couple seconds on some of them. Now, all of these knives came from Temu. This is probably one of my favorites. You can see it's got some wear on it. It's dirty. I carry this knife actually quite often. It's a fantastic, fantastic knife. Now that was me. Let me show you. This action works fantastic. My hands were just being a little bit weak. Let's go to this one. Now again, I'll try to put links down in the description if I can find links for these individual knives. Regardless, I think you can probably look them up. And again, you can use my promo code INC18071 and it will give you 30% off. This is carbon fiber, and this knife is super, super light. This would be something that you could carry pretty easily. I can't really flick it open very well. Not a problem with the knife, it's just the design in general. I can't get my fingers back in there to flip it, but the axis lock works fantastic. See if I can zoom in and let you really look at that carbon fiber. Let's see. Let's go with some automatics. See if it'll zoom in here. It don't like that black, does it? This is a fantastic knife. Like when I'm telling you fantastic, this thing is excellent. I don't see these on there very long or very often for sale, but if you see one, you need to snag it up. It's fantastic. Let you see some of the information about it. The action works great. This is a beautiful knife. When it came in, I let my wife open it. She was like, oh, that's really pretty. My wife likes knives. Not like I like knives, but she likes knives. She carries a Spyderco Tenacious every day. She likes the, we both have Tenacious, but she likes the serrated blade, so I got her a serrated blade Tenacious. Let me show you some fixed blade knives, okay? So, as you can see, this one gets a lot of use. Brand name is HUANGFU or HUANGFU. And I'm telling you, they make some pretty good knives. I'm actually going to show you several of this brand. Let you see it there. And this thing gets some work. Actually, one of my kids uses it over on our farm quite often. I had to steal it from her to make the video. Let me show you some other ones from that brand. Not that one. This is like a puka knife, I think is what they call them. Puka, Pekka, Puka, something like that. This is a fantastic filling knife too. It is much, much bigger than I thought it was going to be. In the pictures, I thought it was a smaller knife, about that long. You know, knife, like, oh, I thought the handle was shorter. This is actually a pretty big knife. Fantastic knife. Came with this maybe faux leather sheath, and it has a spot to put a, like a ferro rod. Here's another one. Now, the only thing, if you look, there's some black stuff on this that come from the Kydex sheath or the plastic. I don't think this is Kydex. I believe it's plastic. And I've never really messed with it to clean it up. But that come off the sheath. So that's not ideal. But I can't feel it hitting the sheath when you put it in there. It does have a good lockup, good retention. But again, I thought this was a great looking knife. Full Tang. And then this chunky boy right here. It's almost like a chisel. This thing's so big. Now the knife itself is not, you know, incredibly big. It's a chunky blade. You can use this to chisel or to baton wood and stuff like that. I think we're going to go ahead and knock all the fixed blades out. Here's another one. Now again, all these knives came from Temu. And you can use my promo code INC18071. It does help me out when you use those promo codes and my links. And I turn around and put that money all back into the channel, buying new stuff to show you guys. Now I'm going to show both of these because these are identical except for collar. These are like a harpoon shaped knife. And I've had a lot of comments about these. If you go over on my knife channel, I've done a lot of these knives individually. I'll tag it down below. It's Appalachian Knife Reviews. I specifically do just knives on that channel. And these knives are fantastic. I've had a lot of comments about these knives specifically, how well they hold up and how much people like them. And again, this one is identical. It's just black instead of the tan. Great, great, fantastic knife. All right. Oh, yeah, I said we're going to finish up with the fixed blades first. This is a really good small fixed blade. If you watched my EDC challenge video, this was the blade I got for my EDC challenge video. Come with a paracord, lanyard, has a Kydex sheath. This, I think, will be a fantastic skinning knife. So you guys know, if you've watched my channel, I hunt, we fish. I'm always looking for the perfect knife to help me when skinning out a deer or a bear. And I think this one is going to do a really good job. And I've got another one that I'm excited to test out. Again, taco folded over style Kydex sheath. This would probably be better with an ulti clip. And you can find ulti clips on Temu for pretty cheap. Here's the other one that I think I'm going to try. It's got like a eggplant shaped, but I want to try this for skinning out a deer and see how well it works. I think it'll be fantastic. Oh, hit the camera. We've got like 4 more of these fixed blades. And then we'll go back into some folders again. Now again, I'm not going into great detail on these knives. If you want more details, go check them out on my knife review channel. Because there's way too many of these knives. This video would be hours long. So I just want to show you guys a little bit of the knife. I love, love, love the look of this knife. I just love the colors of it. That bright orange, black carbon fiber. It's a fantastic looking knife. And there's your Kydex sheath. Again, a lot of these knives would probably be better with ulti clips. So if you pick up one of these fixed blades on Temu, grab one of the ulti clips as well. I have another knife that I put an ulti clip on that I bought from Temu, and I can carry it in my front pocket like an EDC knife fixed blade. This is another one that I think would be fantastic for skinning deer. It's almost like a razor blade. It is quite thin, but it's a full tang knife, so I think it'll hold up, and this thing is razor sharp. I think this thing will be fantastic for skinning out a deer. All right, we got 3 more fixed blades, and then we'll get into some really good folding knives. This one has no brand on it at all. I can't remember what the name of it was. If you look, there's no logo or anything like that. I can't remember what it was called. This is a chunky knife though. It's got the plastic. You can carry it sideways or on your hip. I think this is a really good looking knife too. This is another one that where I think I'd like to put an ulti clip on this, and I would carry this in my front pocket instead of on my hip. It says it's, see if we can get the zoom here, 14C28N. One more fixed blade knife. This thing is quite thin for a fixed blade. It feels good in the hand. I bought it thinking that I would start carrying some fixed blades again more often. When I was younger, fixed blade is what I carried all the time, but as I've gotten older, the only thing I carry is really pocket knives. And this is the one that I was like, man, I like this. I might start carrying it. And I just really haven't gotten into carrying fixed blades except for some small ones in my front pocket. All right. We don't have a whole lot left, but what we do have are some pretty fantastic knives. Right now I'm just moving them over here a little bit closer to the camera. I've got them, as you saw in the intro, they are all over this bed. Now, I want to say something else before I show you a couple more knives. Temu has an outstanding return policy. A couple of the knives, I got them. They weren't quite what I wanted or what I thought, and I messaged Temu. They refunded me completely, told me to keep the knife. They gave me a refund back. I did have one knife that I did end up getting a refund from and sending back to them. It was an AD-15, and it just, I don't know if it was the knife design itself, but it was dull. It felt like junk to me in my hands, so I did end up sending it back. The other ones they told me to keep. And I want to start with this one, because unfortunately this is probably the worst knife I've bought on Temu. This one is one where, if you look, it looks like it's a button lock, or not a button lock rather, but a push button, similar to this. But as you can see, that button does nothing. It's decorative. So, does nothing at all. It doesn't work on the lock, doesn't do anything. So, when I saw it, I messaged their help desk, and again, they refunded me completely, told me to keep the knife. Here's another one that is a fantastic knife. But as you can see, I had been carrying it and some of the hardware fell out. Again, I reached out to Temu. They refunded me, full cost of the knife, told me to keep it. I absolutely love this knife. This one I cannot find. Everybody keeps asking me in the comments of my other videos I've done, hey, where's that knife? Where's that knife? I can't find them in stock anywhere on their website. They are discontinued or out of stock, and they're not in stock. Let's go ahead and knock these couple out. I got this one and this one. Obviously they look very similar. Blade shapes are just a little bit different. Same kind of color scheme and stuff. Again, these are fantastic liner lock knives. Nothing fancy about them. the clip is, you carry these point down, tip down. But these are great knives. This is a button lock, and the action on this knife is maybe one of the better of the whole group. Now, when I'm judging button lock knives, well, that was me. I wasn't pushing it far enough. I judge it by the bounce. When you close it, how much does it bounce? And if you look, this knife doesn't really have a whole lot of bounce to it. So to me, it feels like the action is tuned exactly where it is. Now, obviously, other knives probably need some adjustment and stuff. But right out of the box, this is one of the best action knives where there's not a lot of bounce when you close it that I own. You know, some of my cheaper knives, even some of my more expensive knives. FLISSA is a very, very budget-friendly knife company. So this one, again, if you want to see some more in-detail reviews, if you go over to my knife channel, Appalachian Knife Reviews, again, I'll tag it down in the comments, but I go into a little more detail on that about individual knives. All right, let's do this one. This one I thought was unique. It is some sort of Russian company. This is supposed to be a bottle opener, and I just thought it was a cool looking knife. I had never heard of the company before, but apparently it's a, I don't want to say well known, but apparently it's a pretty known Russian company that makes these knives. I'm a sucker for orange knives, though. I don't have enough, I don't think. Speaking of orange knives, this one right here is probably my very favorite knife that I've gotten from Temu. This thing is a monster. I have carried this not every day, but I've carried it a bunch since I got it. I have so many knives I can't carry them all every day, so some take a back seat to others. Here's another orange knife. This is another one that is fantastic. The compression lock is just chef's kiss. Now this one right here, I don't know if it's in the design or not, but there's a little bit of, and maybe it is the design of the knife. It feels like it gets caught a little bit. And maybe that's the safety of it, I don't know. The action works fantastic. It just, like right there, I guess it's hitting that spring. And I guess it's supposed to do that, but it feels like it should be smoother. But it works exactly like it's supposed to. Here's one of them that I really don't like. This one, you really got to pull it down. Try to get that action to work. I cannot flip this knife. A lot of people tell me I'm not pulling it down far enough. I mean, I could flip it if I really put energy into it, but it does not flip real well in my opinion. I don't like this locking mechanism. It just doesn't feel right to me. Maybe some of you guys have this knife and you can show me better, but I don't like this mechanism. Now this knife I thought was much bigger when I was getting it. I thought it was more along the size of this one, but clearly it's not. But the action works great, sharp out of the box. This is an assisted opening knife, so it opens super fast. Now this is another one. It's a fantastic looking knife, but I don't know if it needs some adjustment in there or what, but you cannot flip this knife open for anything under any circumstances. It is way too tight in there. The knife is sharp. I like the way it looks. It's a frame lock, but you cannot flip this knife open for anything. I'm going to show you a pair of survival scissors I picked up real quick. These are not really a blade. These get carried in my pocket quite a bit too. Mostly for doing stuff like cutting bell and twine. funny enough, and cutting fishing string. Now, I did buy me a pair of, I got the Gerber Dime, the little tiny one, that goes in my pocket now when I'm fishing so I don't have to carry something this big. But these things right here are fantastic. Alright, we just got a handful left to show you guys. I'm going to show you these two first because they're a pair. They're just different variations. And I love these knives. Absolutely love these knives. This one, to me, the action feels better than this one. And again, that could be just some adjustments in the Omega springs in them. But this one just feels better. If you want a more in-depth review of each knife, just comment down below and let me know, and I can either point you to the video on my other channel or we can do one on this channel. Again, all of these knives are available on Temu, or have been at one point. And then I will try to put links in the description, either for the knife or a variant of the knife if I can find it. But again, they do sell out really quick. But if I can find you guys a link, I will. Otherwise, you can use my promo code INC18071. You see it here on the screen somewhere. And you can use it to get 30% off. Got one more knife after this one. This one's carbon fiber. That was me. That was no fault of the knife. Again, that's me having issues with my hands this evening. Now this little guy right here, if this knife was just a little bit bigger, this would be maybe my favorite knife. This knife cuts like a razor. I love the look of it. I love the way it feels. For me, the only problem is I can only get 3 fingers on this knife. You could choke up a little bit, but not enough. So if this handle and blade was just a little bit longer, I think this would be my most favorite knife. Anyways, you guys, that was about 40 or 50 knives that I've picked up on Temu. If you like this kind of video, smash that like button. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. And again, if you want a breakdown of any individual knife you've seen, down in the comments, let me know which one you want. And we can do a bigger, longer video. I hope this video helped you guys in some way, and I hope to see you in the next one.